Baldur's Gate 3 has been the topic of much internet debate over the past few months. Admittedly, some of the internet debate has been more ridiculous than others. A lot has been made about the quality of the game. However, it is worth noting that it is not the poor quality that has the internet talking but rather good quality. Many studios have stepped forward and spoken against Baldur's Gate 3, stating they're setting an unrealistic bar. Many publishers and developers noted that the bar is being developed too high, creating unrealistic expectations. That should tell you everything you need to know about the current state of gaming. If releasing a massive game with all its content in working order for a set price is too high of a bar, then I do not know where we need to go as a gaming community. However, while that controversy has been a bit more on the lighter side, there have also been a few other controversies that are catching the wrath of the internet. More specifically, the wrath of video game journalists. One topic of contention is the women within the game. Some view the women as ugly, and others think there is nothing wrong with them. I do not believe there is anything wrong with the way they look. They are meant to look a certain way to capture a specific look and feel. However, this has not stopped modders from overhauling all the women in the game. Currently, mods are making the rounds that can make women characters in the game look more attractive. As you can imagine, not everyone is happy with these developments. In particular, certain gaming journalists think this is the worst thing imaginable. Mods within video games are nothing new. It is synonymous with the gaming community. A big reason why so many people continue to play specific titles is because of what talented modders have been able to do. Games like Minecraft and GTA 5 are two great examples of this. But there are plenty more examples. Mods help fix bugs, create excitement, and add new dimensions to a game. However, it is worth pointing out that not every mod is equal. Some are a bit more controversial than others. For instance, the naked mod in Tomb Raider removes all the clothes of Lara Croft. There is, of course, a simple solution around these controversial mods. You do not have to play them. You can choose to ignore it and play the game as intended. Alternatively, you can cry about it on the internet. This is not to say that you are not entitled to your opinions, or that you are not allowed to express them publicly. I complain about stuff all the time on the internet. That is all I do most of the time. Although subjective, the problem is not with expressing your views. The problem is forcing your beliefs and worldviews off on other people. People do not like certain things and start forcing everyone else to comply with their beliefs. They find something offensive, and thus, it needs to be deleted from the internet. Sadly, that is not how the world works, and you won't get very far with that mentality. At least you used to not get very far with that mentality. Censorship is slowly taking over, and it is only a matter of time before it gets the modding community. A few journalists are making the rounds, stating that we should stop using mods to make female characters more attractive. Although it is a small group of crazy people, they are still loud. As we all know, the crazies constantly yell the loudest. Over the last few years, there has been some debate over how women have been portrayed in games. Some say they are extensively sexualized, and others argue that there has been a constant effort to make them less feminine. To prove this point, people have pointed to games like the latest Fable, Saints Row Reboot, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Supporters, however, have pushed back against this, stating that women should not expect to only look easy on the eyes. To this, I would agree. However, for video games and entertainment as a whole, the rules are a bit different. It is human psychology that people enjoy watching attractive people. I don't know what it is, but people enjoy watching visually pleasing things. This rule applies across the board. Everyone enjoys looking at the beautiful pictures in nature. People enjoy watching the cutest animals on the internet. When you watch room tours online, you enjoy watching the cleanest setups you can find. For entertainment, it is not that much different. As a general rule, people enjoy watching attractive people. There are, of course, apparent exceptions to this. Sometimes, we like the dark and the hideous, but the general rule still stands. No matter how hard we try to hide this part of ourselves, we all want to create the prettiest avatars we can at the end of the day. If that is not you, congratulations, you must be better than us. One journalist proudly claims that it is deemed unacceptable for women in video games not to be beautiful. For this, I believe the context has always mattered. Is there some truth to this statement? I would argue that there is. It would be disingenuous of me to sit here and say that it was not, at least on some level, true. My question would be, why is that bad? Your audience likes attractive men and women in their fantasy video games. Let them escape and have fun. However, we also understand that they must keep that within video games. Obviously, there is no excuse to harass, objectify, or bother any person, male or female, in real life. Alternatively, if you want to make your visually appealing video game characters as a developer, you also have the right to do so. In return, I have the right to complain about them the same way you complain about every attractive woman. The video game space is bigger than we think, and there is room for everything. The problem for me lies with the publishers. We have a handful of publishers out there who own the space. If they are crazy woke, the whole industry will suffer. However, I do not believe that it is all doom and gloom. There will always be crazy people out there screaming about stupid stuff. Sometimes, those crazy people hold positions of power or have a loud voice on a prominent video game blog. However, even in those cases, there is still plenty of normal to even things out. The crazy move on to something new very fast. All that we, as a gaming community, can do is try our best to block these people out. Sometimes, we will be successful. Other times, it will be hard. Specific battles we will win, and sometimes we will stumble hard and lose. Like for instance, the war on microtransactions within video games. We fought hard for many years and ultimately lost. Through these battles, we have learned one important thing. You cannot give these people an inch. If you do, they will take a mile. The question becomes, is this a hill you are prepared to die on?